Alright, so today guys, I get the pleasure of talking to you guys about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, I could sit here and talk about the Spider-Man trailer all day. It looks cool, we'll play it, make a video and all that when all that comes out. But I feel like everything that has to be said has been said about that game, and this kind of got looked over due to all of that stuff coming out. So let me talk about this and give you guys just some unique insight as to what I think of this trailer and just the game overall. So if you haven't seen this, it's the gameplay trailer that released yesterday, and I've watched this once or twice, thought it looked fine, and then wasn't planning on making any type of content around it. Didn't really show off anything too crazy or unexpected for an Assassin's Creed game, and I felt that I didn't have much to say. But I keep getting ads for it and seeing it on Twitter and watching this trailer over and over and over again, and I'm starting to get concerned. We've been in that era of the RPG style Assassin's Creed game for, 6 years now, and we've had 3 full games in them, all of them close to, if not more than 100 hours long, and if that's not your thing, then obviously you're going to like this. You're like that we're going back to the original style of Assassin's Creed, and I have no problem with either style of game, and I like what they're doing with trying to release both types of games, but I can only feel that it's going to hurt the quality of both types of games, right? I would rather them focus on the shorter, story-driven experience or the fully fleshed out RPG experience and have more time between releases than do this, and they both end up being just fine. And that's the vibe I get from this trailer, and ultimately why I wanted to make this video. This feels repetitive, and I haven't even played it yet. If you look back as to why we actually switched from the story-driven experience to the RPG style that the most recent 3 games have been, we had played, at this point, 9 story-driven style Assassin's Creed games, and people were bored of them, right? They wanted something different, they wanted to play something new, and so that's why they switched. And now that we're going back, I'm starting to see why we switched. This feels very much like the first Assassin's Creed game. If you would have told me with no information this was a remaster of the first game, I probably would have believed you. That being said, everything here looks good. The animations look great. It's exactly the type of Assassin's Creed game I would have said I wanted before these RPG games came out. I like it a lot. It's just the style of game calls for a much shorter runtime. People are saying this clocks in at about 15 hours compared to, if you look at Valhalla, the most recent entry, I put whatever I say in my review, like 110 hours into that game. And so my point being, and I have this debate all the time when I'm reviewing a game, is how much does the playtime play into the overall score of the game, right? If you play a game that costs $70, would you rather it be 110 hours of okay or 15 hours of absolutely fantastic? And that's kind of where my problem is, and where I can see myself having issues here, is that because this is going to be so much shorter than we've gotten recently, and just with these story types of games, typically the world's probably going to be smaller, there's going to be less side quests and world building, and that's fine as long as the story carries that. The story has to be very good, the characters have to actually have motivation and all that stuff behind them. Because I mean, if you look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins, well, there are characters and they have motivation and goals and all of that stuff. It's not great, right? It's not the most incredibly well-written, dynamic story ever, and really no Assassin's Creed game is, but those more story-driven games do tend to have more plot, big AAA action moments than the RPG games do, because the RPG games are giving you more choice and option and variability how you play. Now, I'm saying a lot of bad things about this game before it's even out, months before it's even out, but I like everything I've seen about it so far. Again, as long as it does everything well, the gameplay plays well, the story is really good, it's a decent length, the world and customization is at least somewhat larger than the original games, I think it'll be fine. It's, can you adjust from that RPG setting and having all of those options down to a more story-driven style game? Now, if they just say, oh yeah, we're giving you the best of both, and this is going to be a story experience with all of those great side missions, and the great story, and the great characters, and the great customization, and the great combat, then great, right? Obviously, give it a high score, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. But typically, what they tend to do with these types of games is choose between one or the other. So that's just going to depend on your preference. But I figured I would make a little bit of a rant video here, just get my feelings out about this game and this trailer. Obviously, we're going to get more trailers before this launches in, October? And so hopefully this game will be an absolute banger, and everything I just said will be completely wrong. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.